Hi, this is Physics Echoes. We are on the last video of the series for individual investigation. In the previous videos, I covered exploration, analysis, and evaluation aspects of individual investigation. In this video, we will be covering the two criterion, personal engagement and communication. Let's look at the criterion communication. It's appropriate to discuss communication before the criterion personal engagement. Communication is assessed out of 4 as seen in the rubric. Examiners will be looking at 3 aspects while grading communication criterion: presentation, structure, relevance, and conciseness. The overall clarity, flow, and focus are extremely important in IA like any other scientific paper. That's why in the previous videos, I asked you to connect background info, data collection and analysis, evaluation to the research question. Thus, you will maintain the focus. By following the sequence of introduction, followed by RQ, that is research question, then background info, and so on, the flow of the report can be maintained, which leads to clarity as well. Another point that you need to be careful is the way you represent equations and units that are relevant to the RQ. For example, S equal to UT plus half AT square. Some of the students represent this half AT square without using formula editor. Use insert equation option to enter the fraction, power, etc. Ensure that it goes in the same manner instead of writing half AT cap 2. While inserting units, ensure to use appropriate notations like meter, space, seconds, rather than ms minus 1, because this will be read as per millisecond. Of course, you need to follow reasonable margins, spacings, etc. Regarding the experimental arrangement, it's better to give a clear sketch of the experimental arrangement rather than a photograph, as photographs cannot provide a clarity of the arrangement, although it's an evidence. Use appropriate scientific terminology. As an example, I've given you a list, terms like resistance and resistors, projectile range, path, etc. Be reminded, resistance, it's a property. Resistor is a component. So what we have seen is students mixing up these two. In addition to this, don't forget to cite your work. And also, the report should be within the allowed page limit of 6 to 12 pages. This is being appreciated. However, the examiners will not deduct mark if it is slightly more than 12 pages to give a relevant and concise report for your investigation, because that's a requirement of communication, relevant and conciseness. You don't have to include a large amount of data if data logger or such devices are used. A sample data is sufficient. Remaining data can be included in the appendix. Let's look at personal engagement. The reason for discussing personal engagement at the end is because it is assessed holistically. What does it mean? Let's look at the strands for personal engagement to have more clarity. To get the maximum score of 2 for personal engagement, students should display independent thinking, personal significance, personal input, etc., which are being highlighted in the rubric. Remember, it's not only a matter of writing in the report that you are a basketball player, therefore would like to investigate pressure versus bouncing height. This alone will not contribute to personal engagement. It should be displayed in experimental design, the techniques and methods you use for data collection. How do you show independent thinking in design? Referring back to the experiment of dropping height versus time, which was the RQ, student can develop a new method of dropping the object and connecting this with a timer, where this is the ground. So connecting this with a timer, a new method can be developed by the student that will show initiative and independent thinking. While processing data, ensure to include all relevant details as discussed in IA Part 2, the video that we have released before. By including all details as discussed in previous video for evaluation will help you to cover all requirements and hence score the maximum level for personal engagement. All those have been listed as bullet points here. For any doubts regarding IA, feel free to contact physicsechoes@gmail.com. In the upcoming videos, we are going to discuss how to do error processing for simple calculations. Stay tuned by subscribing the channel. Thank you very much.